The three most important things I ever learned about playing drums. I'm an untrained drummer. The only drum lesson I ever had was from my high school band teacher, who taught me three things, three styles, or I should say rules for playing, techniques for playing, that I've used ever since. I've never taken another drum lesson, but these three things are the most important things that I've ever learned. And if you do these things and you learn them thoroughly, and it's not very hard to do that, it's pretty simple stuff, you'll go a long way toward becoming proficient at playing these things. And the key to playing drums, by the way, is using as few motions as possible. It is an economy of motion. And the reason is because you want to be able to get to things quickly. If your hands are flying around and you're doing all of this animated stuff, it makes it that much more difficult to play fast. And you have to play fast if you're going to be playing some of these riffs. So rule number one that my high school band teacher taught me was, it's all in the wrists. Now, if you've watched me play, you'll see me lift my arm, but usually, my forearm that is, but usually my arms are pretty much close to my side. And I learned this playing parade drums in high school band. You'd strap a drum on. This is before they had racks where the thing would be in front of you. You'd strap it on with a strap, and it would be, you would march with it basically by your leg. So you'd be playing like this. Consequently, I always tilt my drum left to right because that's the way I learned when I was a kid. So rule number one that he taught me, keep your arms to your side. Do not use this kind of emotion when you're playing. It's all in the wrists. I can do that all day. Well, not that. This. Like that. Okay, wrists or arms to the side. It's all. You have to practice that. You have to practice using your wrists while you're playing, because the temptation is to do this kind of thing. You don't want to do it. Okay, rule number two, he drew a little triangle in the middle of the drum head. This was an actual old tom-tom. If you've ever seen these movies about bands maybe in the 1920s, it's one of these wooden ones, an Indian tom-tom. It had tacked on calfskin heads on it. He plopped it on a drum stand. He said, play this. Drew a little triangle in the middle of it, and he said, that's where you hit it, right there. You know, aim for that. And to this day, that's where I hit it. You know, I just aim for that little spot in there. Now, the third thing, and I think probably the most important thing you ever learn, if you don't learn anything else about this kind of technique, learn this. You have to hold the drumsticks very loose. Now, I use a traditional grip, as you can see. I hold it this way and use my two fingers here as a bumper. But I don't even need those fingers. Guide, really. Except when I'm doing something like that, then of course I use this finger. That's an entirely different thing. But those are the three basic principles that he taught me. Hold these things loose. Like that. Keep your arms to your side. Don't flail around like this. And the other thing is to try to find a place on the drum head where you put the stick head, and it goes there every time. And you want to do that on all of the drums, so you have control that way. You have a control, and you always know what that head's going to feel like when you hit it. You always know what kind of bounce is going to be there. Three little simple things. If you learn those well, you'll be able to do most everything else very, very easily. Should be a piece of cake for you.